Hello YouTube and welcome to the channel. Now then, on today's video, hopefully we're going to be repairing a couple of RC car shells for cheap. You might remember this one from the Comet Racer. We took it out for a few speed runs, but proper did a number on this shell, so we need to get that fixed before we do any more speed runs. There's several, it's just holding several places, unfortunately. And we took this one out on the weekend with my brother and his lad. Unfortunately, it hit a set of railings and, yeah, pretty much stove the top of the shell in. Now then, a mate of mine had some bits and pieces lying around. He said, why don't you try repairing them with this? Now, I think it is some... I think it's some plasterboard tape, or I think you Americans might know it as drywall tape, but it's the sort of stuff basically you put between the joint of the two sheets of plasterboard, and then you sort of plaster a bit over to disguise the joint. But hopefully we're going to be using a bit of this because it's self-adhesive, and he gave me an old tube of waterproof instant grab adhesive that he's got lying around in his shed, and he said, oh, you can use the plasterboard tape and some of that and you can fix your shell. So hopefully that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be trying that out. I found an old tube of the same stuff in my garage, so this could be a really nice easy fix. Now the first job is to make sure that the shell is reasonably clean where you are going to be applying the tape. And what we'll do now is start cutting some of that tape off because it's self-adhesive, and then we're going to stick it obviously where we want to repair the shell, and after we've stuck it down we can smear some of that grab adhesive over the top, and that should hopefully give us a half decent repair. I mean, I did have a go. I lent this to my son when I very first had it. Unfortunately, he pretty much stoved the front end in as soon as in the first couple of minutes, but I repaired that with some of that grab adhesive and an old battery tray. But this, hopefully this way we get a bit more of a contoured finish, because I'm not going to be able to do that in the same sort of way. And if you're a bit cheap and tight like me, this is probably the perfect solution for you, because I mean, you might have these bits and pieces lying around in your garage, and if you already bought them to do a job and you've got them left over, well, you may as well use them for something. Right, I've cut some strips of tape and I've stuck them to the inside of the shell where I want to repair it. Now that was actually super easy, that was, because this tape sort of conforms to the contours of the inside of the shell, and obviously with it being self-adhesive you just literally stick it on, so that was literally super easy. Now then, I've got to apply the grab adhesive, and unfortunately I've had to cut the end of the cap off because it was pretty much gone off in the end. So it's a good use of, I mean, if you've got tubs of this stuff lying around, I mean, they only go off eventually, so it's a good way of getting, you know, if you've got a broken shell, it's a good way of getting rid of excess sort of grab adhesive, really. But I've got some gloves because this is going to be messy, I dare say, so I'm just going to scoop it out with my finger and sort of apply it to the inside of the tape. I'm glad I've got these gloves on because this stuff is super tacky, but if we sort of smear it evenly over the tape, that should give us a nice repair. And this grab adhesive as well is remains quite flexible, so I don't think we're going to get much in the way of cracking later on if it takes another impact. Right then, there's the little one done. It's not the prettiest job in the world, but it'll live to fight another day, I think. And the most important thing is we don't have to buy another shell. Now, if you had any forethought about you would have probably done this before smashing the shell up. But I'm a horses bolted stable door kind of guy, so I didn't. Next up, I think we can have a pop at the Comet Racer here. I'm going to do the majority of the inside of this actually, because we've got loads of this stuff left. We've got loads of the tape left. I may as well just do the entire inside of the shell, because we're going to do a few more speed runs with this thing and I'm probably going to smash it up. Okay, that's the inside of the big shell taped up. It really is super easy to do this. It's an absolute doddle. This stuff is brilliant and just literally just conforms to the inside, no problem at all. Next up, we're going to stick some of our grab adhesive on the inside. Right, that's the big one done. I've applied all the grab adhesive to the inside of the tape, so just going to wait for that to dry. Word of warning, this stuff goes absolutely everywhere. It's all over my desk and everything. So if you're going to do it, make sure you wear gloves, and for God's sake don't do it on your wife's kitchen table. or if you do put something down so you don't get it everywhere, because it literally just, oh god, I've made a right mess. Anyway, we'll wait till the morning, see what this dries like, and if we need to reapply to any areas that I've missed, we shall do so. Right, I've actually let these shells sit for a few days now just to let the stuff cure properly. So the end result is, well, we've got a nice sort of flexible repair. I mean, still, the shell remains pretty flexible still, and we've obviously repaired the crack, so it seems to have done the job. This tape and the grab adhesive seems to have, I mean, it really does, it really is just as flexible as the shell, to be honest. So hopefully that grab adhesive, and coupled with that plasterboard tape, allows you to make a decent repair on your shell. Yeah, so there, still just as flexible as it was before. Hopefully it should also help stop the shell cracking in future. You know, if you do hit something later on down the road, it should help stop it from causing any more damage. So anyway, does the tape and the grab adhesive work in repairing your RC shell? I'm going to say yeah, it does. Seems to make a reasonable job. And it seems to be a fairly cost-effective repair, especially if your mate gives you the stuff to do it. But yes, anyway, if you found this video of some use and interest, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're feeling that way inclined, hit the subscribe button for more similar future content. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you again very soon.